All right, hello and welcome to this season's final edition of the Spotter Stand, coming at you live this week from Homestead, Miami. A little hungover, it's a week late, but here we are. We're going to wrap up the season this week, and as Pocket puts it, we're coming to you live from the Slammer. How you guys doing this week?
Pretty good. What's up, champ?
Yep, congratulations, champion.
Hey, thank you very much. It was a nerve wracking week at Homestead. I can tell you that, man. It was, Wednesday night. I think was the only easy night, steady night that I had. I had a good lead on Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday my nerves were up all race long, and it was close on Friday night. That's for sure. Momo gave me a run for my money.
I will say this, that not being in a position to where we had a mathematical chance of winning the championship, we were just, in there struggling and fighting to hold our position or not lose any. And we kind of split the decision on that over the series. Part of the part of the thing that I enjoyed the most during that last race at Homestead was listening to you being nervous about being able to pull off this feat that you pulled off, and it was very entertaining to say the least.
Well, let's get right into it. Let's start out with Wednesday night in the Truck Series. As we finished up the season at Homestead, all three series, Truck, Cup, and Xfinity, all ran at Homestead. And in the Truck Series at Homestead, it was BSR Terry Scott in that number 66 truck that brought home the victory. Hard fought win, and great job, Terry.
Yep, Terry put it out there, laid it all on the line, tried to get as many points as he could. Bama got second, Burko was third, Brain Fade fourth, and Momo got fifth.
Hang on a second, I'm looking. All right, hang on. I think it is working. Okay, sorry. I thought we were having a technical difficulty, but it was on my end. Yeah, run over those top five again there, Larry, for me. I'm sorry, everyone.
It was Terry Scott, Bama, Burko, Brain Fade, and Momo rounds out top five.
Terry Scott comes back and wins that race when he needed to win the race the most. Maybe the most important race of his whole season there in the truck series, drunkcowjerky.com truck series on Wednesday nights. He comes back and wins that thing and maximizes his amount of points in the last race of the championship. And I think he moved up quite a few positions, didn't he, Larry?
Uh, may have, I'm not sure. Yes, it looks like he did.
Yes, I know he did because he passed me and knocked me out of third place for the jerky prize money. So there you go, the jerky prize, not money. But yeah, that was I tell you that Homestead Miami, that track, you get get two different varying opinions on that track. Either people like it or they hate it. It seems like the majority of them are not really happy with that track, but I love that track because it is so different than any other track that we run, and we only run there once a year in the series, and we run in all three series there as the championship finale. So it does make it exciting to be at that style track.
Yeah, it's tough in the truck physics. It's hard to pass. It's such a big track. Tires don't wear that fast, and you're pretty quick all the way through the run, even till the end of the fuel. And it's a lot of drafting involved. Not quite Daytona. You got to let off the gas, but it's really hard to get a run down on the bottom of this track unless you've got some help. If you've got some cars in line with you, then you can get down there and make a pass. But yeah, like Pocket said, it was a lot of fun. Great racing all week long. And let's go ahead and take a look at the points here and see how we ended up at the end of the season here in the trucks. It was myself, BSR Texan, ended up on the top. Took the chase by 30 points over, looked like he's already changed his name, BSR Mayhem.
Yeah, I just seen that too, Texan.
Yeah, BSR Mayhem, second place, down by 30 points. BSR Terry Scott with the victory at Homestead moves up 2 spots to take over third, down by 35. Brain Fade in fourth, down by 40 points. And BSR Pockets dropped a couple spots, but still hung in there in the top five, down by 42.
2 spots in the last race. Remember how we talked about, and look right there, there's Brain Fade, 2 points. Remember how we talked about earlier in the chase, the year-long bonus points and all of that. You know, one or two more, three more wins that would have put me. Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference. It really does, and it comes down to that last race in these series, and that makes it interesting. Now, it didn't come down to the last race to determine a champion, but you don't think Mayhem and Terry Scott and Brain Fade and Larry and Monty and Magoo and all of us were racing for every point we could get? That's what it's all about. That's what makes Miami and Championship Week so exciting.
That's right. We all had different goals.
Well, let's go on and take a look at Thursday night. Thursday night, the Cup Series also ran at Homestead to finish up the season. 10 race chase, 36 race season. And on Thursday night, it was BSR Ricky J in that number 193 Boyles Trucking Ford Fusion. Brought home the victory at Homestead. Great job, Ricky J.
Yes, congrats to Ricky J. Nelly got second, Texan third, Bama fourth, and Terry Scott rounds out the top five.
Bama's doing a great job down there in Miami. Landing in the top five in both races so far, and a great race, like I said. And what I find very interesting is how different this track is in the Cup physics as compared to the truck physics. It's just this track is. I can't say enough good things about this track. I like it because of the characteristics and the personality that it has. It's in, and like I had said earlier in that week, that a lot of people forget because we only run it once at the end of the season. We take a break, we take the winter and go to the winter series and stuff like that. Now, we did put it in the winter series last year, and it may make an appearance in the winter series this year. We're not sure yet, but I just like the opportunity to run that track again so people will get a little more used to it and remember it when it comes to the last race. Yeah, I believe that it made its point to a lot of drivers this year that you need to be looking at Miami really hard, because that's if you were going to go to some practice sessions, that's the place I'm thinking you might want to go, because you might find yourself in a situation where these points are close like this, and you get down there and here you go. You don't want that track to sneak up on you. So, and I think that's you're going to be dealing with close racing, close points, and our good friend Texan had to deal with that all week, so he can attest to that fact. So that's it's very interesting racing down there. I love Championship Week. It's great.
Yeah, Homestead completely different in the Cup physics. This race totally different than the trucks. You are able to use the bottom a lot more in the Cup. You got more horsepower. You can actually use the bottom of the track and make a pass down there. Now, the top lane's still good, which really in this series made for some great racing, because you're able to hold it in there on the top, keep some momentum coming off the corner, while the guy's also able to use the bottom and kind of hang it in there and still make a pass on the bottom. So totally different racing, just like you said, here in the Cup physics. And we went into this race with pretty close in points. Rick Craddock was back in second place, only down by 9. And I believe was it Momo or Terry Scott? One of the other two was back by only about 13 or 14 points as well. So
It was Terry.
yeah, it was very close going into this race. And Rick Craddock unfortunately had some troubles. I think he was involved in several incidents. I don't think any of them were actually his doing, but he just happened to get involved in several and got some damage on his car. Didn't have the greatest race, and I was able to pull off a decent finish and bring home the championship in this series as well. Let's take a look at how the points wrapped up here in the Cup Series. Once again, there I am up at the top of the board by 17 points over BSR, Terry Scott, and Rick Craddock. They ended up with a tie for second place. Rick Craddock, not such a great finish. Terry Scott did okay there. Both of them 17 points back. I believe that was decided by victories, and Terry Scott actually had a few more victories than Rick Craddock did. Is that correct?
It was a scoring error, and Rick was back by 2, actually.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, yeah, Terry Scott actually did take second place, and then Rick Craddock would have been third, down by 19.
That's right.
BSR Mayhem coming in there in fourth place. Another great run in this series, down by 24 points. And BSR Momo rounding out the top 5 there, down by 30.
Speaking of BSR Mayhem, he just climbed on top of the spotter's box. I guess that spotter stand. I guess security must still be off for Thanksgiving. Is that how this is working today?
I am security.
Welcome to the show. Yes, Texan. That race was had to be nerve-wracking for you. I mean, you had to play it safe. I mean, could probably take a chance and try to win the race just to make an exclamation point and make your stats look a little better, but you got to play it safe, and because anything could happen, and anything almost happened in that race, if I remember correctly. You had a couple of little scary moments there, but that was all part of it, and you pulled it off, and you are the 2018 Drunken Cow Jerky Thursday Night Cup Series champion. How does that sound? That's 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Is that, or no?
No, that is 2 in a row. I was the 2017
Yeah,
Cup Series champion as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Chevy Chase took the truck and Xfinity last season.
That's right. He took both of those last season. That's right.
And I was going to bring that up. Yeah, if you guys did recall, I did have some troubles early on in this race and did get some damage on my car as well. Luckily, after they pounded it out, it was still fairly fast. It still ran pretty good, and I was able to finish, ahead of Rick Craddock and Terry Scott and keep that points lead to pull out this championship one more time.
Yes, and I think Rick's problem was he had to push the issue and Max gained points, and he just didn't realize the guys he was running with didn't have a whole lot to lose, and they were trying to get Max too, and he just picked the wrong battles to fight.
And that brings up, once again, would you rather be the chaser or the chasee? Absolutely. Right. And that's one more reason why I would much rather be up there and be the chasee and not have to work that hard at getting those points come the last few races.
Well, I'll tell you another thing to consider too, and we'll ask the champ if he took this into consideration. If you're in a position that he's in up at the top going into the last race, do you look back at these points and realize that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, back there, you see how close those guys are in points? Do you consider those guys at all and think that they're racing each other as hard as they possibly can? These guys aren't going for a championship, but they are going for the best finish they can get, which would be 7th, which doesn't sound like that big a deal. But if you're 9th, it's a huge deal in the last race of the series. So do you take into consideration that you could get involved in a fight that you don't need to be involved in a situation like that on the way to a championship?
Oh, yeah. And luckily, most of the time, you guys are talking about that while the race is going on. So, even though when I go back and check the points, I may only be looking at who's close to me, before that race starts and who do I really have to finish in front of. Everybody else is looking at them too. And all you guys that are right there fighting for, like you said, 6th, 7th, 8th place, you're all talking to each other, like, knowing what's going on. And I'm able to pick up on that. And yeah, through the race, you just gotta you mind your P's and Q's the whole race. Know who you're racing and who they're racing as well. Because if you come up on two guys like say you and Brain Fade who are just separated by a few points, and you're trying to get ahead of Brain to take that one more spot come the end of the chase, and yeah, I may be a little more patient, a little more careful at picking the right time to make that pass, just to make sure I don't get into an incident, especially if I've got a small cushion like I had 9 points going into this race. So if you've got a little bit of a cushion, you can do that. But say in Rick Craddock's case where he had to make those 9 points up, he just didn't have a choice. He had to go for everything he got, no matter who he's racing on the track, and who they're racing.
9 points. You still got to be considering. You still got to be nervous every lap, thinking about over the season how many times you've lost a motor, how many times the ignition went out, your car just was finished for the day. You have to be thinking about those kind of things in that last race also, and kind of holding your breath with that.
Oh yeah, and even more so, what I was really thinking about was how I did in these races last year. If you recall, I in the truck race, I lost fourth gear. Um, about sometime late in the race on a restart, I lost fourth gear and was out of that race. And same thing happened to me in the Cup race last year. But luckily, I had already clinched at Phoenix, and in the Cup race last season, I lost fourth gear about midway through the race and was out of that race completely. So yeah, that stuff that's constantly in the back of your head. And I was worried about losing a gear, losing a motor, especially after having a little damage earlier in the race because your car, it seems more likely to give up on you if you've already had some damage prior in the race. You may just get that random blow up, random motor loss. And yeah, that's always in the back of your mind, and I got lucky this year. It didn't happen to me.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing: to have ten racers that close in points, even though it's separated quite a bit from the top tier championship level as yourself all the way back to 10th. I mean, it's the points show a 10 race series about what it would look like if the drivers have trouble or all the things that can happen during racing. But to have 10, those 10 people, when you look at that top 10, that is some hardcore, dedicated, show up, race all the damn time guys right there. And to see them take that into Miami and walk out of there knowing that they've completed the 2018 Drunken Cow Jerky Thursday Night Cup Series is something to really that really stands out. That's a great group of racers right there, and they competed with each other all damn year long. So that just shows that the point system appears to be as close to being as correct as you could get it to be for a series like this. And I think it just created great racing all year long. And we got everything we wanted out of the chase. It was the way it should be. We let the scoreboard decide what the elimination round was this week. We didn't try to manipulate that or make it more exciting than it actually was. We feel like that the way the point system is, the scoreboard will do the eliminating for you, and it still gave us a championship race at Miami. So thanks to the scoreboard.
Well, let's take a look at Friday night. Friday night, the Xfinity Series. This was by far the closest race of all three of the series as far as points go. BSR Momo did bring home the victory in the Xfinity Series at Homestead. Momo dominated that race. He led the most laps. I did manage to lead a few, and I think I was able to stay right on Momo's tail pretty much that whole race. I know he didn't want to see that. He was wanting to see cars between myself and him. At times there were a few cars there, but Momo, I mean, did absolutely everything he could do here at Homestead. He maximized his points. He led the most laps. He won the race. He went into this down by 8 points, only down by 8. So this was the closest race of all three of the series, and Momo did all he could have possibly done to try to pull off this victory here. Luckily, I was able to get a decent finish and stay in front of him in this series as well. But hats off, Momo. That was a great race, man. That was awesome racing. You did a great job and great finish, bringing home the victory.
Yes, congrats to Momo. What an awesome try. Maximize points. Texan got second. Rusty got third. Bama got fourth. And Brain Fade rounds out the top five.
There's Bama again, top five, all three races. Good job, Bama. Yes, that was. Let me tell you, it all came down to Friday night. I mean, we'd had two great championship races Wednesday and Thursday. Everybody had their cars underneath them. We're running the same physics as we had Wednesday. So basically, Wednesday was a great race and a chance to test out what you had for Friday night, and it really showed Friday night. And that was an impressive drive by Momo. And once again, that track in a situation like that, it produces a great scenario to decide a championship. And Momo did everything he could do, and Texan did exactly what he needed to do. At very least, just stay right with the 54 as long as you could pretty much see him. There was times in that race where we were looking at Momo had the championship in his hand for a few laps by the scoring, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't that big. I mean, you could lose that one real easy. And I know Texan was feeling the pressure Friday night. You could tell with the radio communications and everything. He was concerned, and they raced it out, and it ended up being something fantastic. And another championship to the 201. He did what he had to do, stayed right behind the 54, and that procured his third championship of 2018, a complete sweep on Friday night. So congratulations to Texan.
Thank you. Yeah, this was very close. I think if if I had finished outside the top five, if I had finished say sixth place instead of second place, that would have led to a tie between myself and Momo, and he would have won that tie on victories because I did not win very many races this season. I think Momo won a few. He definitely had more victories than I did, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, there were several times in that race where I was well outside the top five, and Momo was still up there at the front. And like I said, a sixth place finish, which is still a good finish in my book. If you can finish in sixth place in this group, that's a good job, And if I had pulled off sixth, it would have been Momo's championship. He would have had this. That second place finish, being able to finish right behind him, brought it home for me. Let's take a look at the points in the Friday night Xfinity Series. We'll see how they ended up. BSR Texan, myself up there on the top one more time, and look how close it was. BSR Momo, second place, down by only 4 points. So, that second place finish, only 4 more spots back in sixth. We would have tied, and Momo would have took it on victories. BSR Terry Scott in third place, down by 22. BSR Pockets in fourth, down by 41. And BSR Brain Fade, rounding out the top five, down by 53. Their Pockets bringing home a top five in this series. Once again, you and Brain right up next to each other. Looks like you got him by about 12 points, though, in this one.
Yeah, that's been a tough. Me and Brain, we've been battling each other all season long, just like you guys, to you and Terry Scott and Mayhem and Momo and everybody's battling everybody for every point they can get there. And I mean, it just look at that 4 points. There's your elimination round. I mean, that's anybody that simmed race for any time at all knows that 4 positions on the track, that's there's sometimes you can be as good as you think you can be, and that still ain't going to matter. You may not make up those 4 spots, so somebody may take them from you. So that was a good job. I mean, you did everything you needed to do. I know you had to have been nervous, but you actually had to get up on that wheel and race that race to make sure. That was probably tougher than a win because you had to play so much defense, but on Friday nights you had to put the offense out there, and you did as good as you could. You did exactly what you needed to do by finishing second.
Yeah, I did lead a few laps in that race, and don't think I wasn't trying to lead as many as I could to try to keep Momo from getting that one more bonus point, but I wasn't able to do that. He was able to stay up there and lead the most. Luckily, I was able to stay pretty much right behind him most of that race, within a couple of cars of him, and pull off the second place finish there. Um, one driver I got to mention here is way back in 21st place. You see BSR Chevy Chase back there, last season's Truck and Xfinity Series champion. That's another driver that really should have been up there giving us all a run and running for that championship. Some personal things he wasn't able to make most of these chase races. Hopefully next season things will be better for Chevy and he'll be able to make more of the races and be right back in the hunt for all of these championships one more time. I just wanted to mention Chevy there. I know he's showing back far in the points, but great driver, great racer, and he's always up there running in that top five, trying to win one of these championships.
I told him personally the other day, as exciting as championship week and this chase has been, imagine with Chevy Chase being there in Miami. We missed him dearly. He always brings great competition to the board, and that just imagine. And like I said, yes, we do hope that his scheduling conflicts and real world commitments get rearranged so that maybe he can participate a little more, because like I said, he was sorely missed, and he is a champion of this league and these series. So anytime he's not there, it's a hole in what we try to do there. So we hope that he can get back as soon as he can.
Yeah, another driver I'd like to talk to a little bit, since he's here, joined us on top of the spotter stand, BSR Mayhem. Put in an awesome run this season. You didn't make a lot of the Friday night chase races. I see you're back there a little bit, 10th place it looks like. Missed one or two, but you made pretty much all of the Wednesday and Thursday night races, and you had a great run. Second place in the Truck Series, and I believe you were top five in the Cup Series as well. Great run this season, man. And, I know you're looking forward to next season. Got the new name. You're going to have the new number going. I'm looking forward to it, man. You're going to be another driver up there fighting for these championships and, just making this a lot more interesting. I'm glad you joined us here today.
I appreciate it. Just make sure you can still hear me, correct?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Oh, first of all, congratulations, because, damn, 3 series. 3 long, year-long, tough competition series, man. So congratulations. That's amazing. Second of all, thank you for all of your help throughout the season. I don't know if half the races I would have had the results I had it not been for your help and guidance there. But I tell you, I don't know what would have happened if I would have made all the races on Wednesday and Thursday. I think I might have missed one or something like that, or two. That could have changed the whole thing. But I did make all the chase races, so I was so close on Wednesday. I thought I had a better chance on Thursday because I actually led the points for a week. And then we hit Phoenix, and gosh, do I not like Phoenix. And I just had a hell of a time trying to figure out that track. I could not get the feel, and that hurt me dearly, especially on Thursday. And I went from second in points and fell back to fourth and just couldn't gain them back at Homestead. But I had a blast doing it, man. I've never run in such a league with such competition and such, sportsmanship and just good hard racing, man. And I tell you, it's awesome. And I had a hell of a season. And yeah, I am looking forward to next year. You can see a little chaos and mayhem on the track, a new number, a new sponsor. Thank you, Sweetwater, for stepping up. Sweetwater Musical Instruments and Musical Supplies, Sweetwater.com. They'll be providing some nice things going on for next year, in addition to what else we have going on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Definitely.
Well, we know what you need to work on then. And, at Phoenix, that's one of my favorite tracks. I love that track. I usually have a good run there. Anytime during the year, I think we do run Phoenix twice, do we not?
We sure do. I wish it was the old
Yep.
flat Phoenix, but yeah, I need to figure this track out.
Yeah, anytime you want to get in and practice, I'll definitely be glad to get in there with you and show you where my breaking points are and how I hit these corners. And, that's what's really going to help you out there is the seat time and running some laps and just getting used to that 1 and 2, man. Turn 1 and 2 is a killer at Phoenix. 3 and 4 not so bad, but if you can get 1 and 2 down, then you'll have a great race at Phoenix next year.
Yeah, I need to figure that out. It just felt awful as if my wheel wasn't right and I could not, no matter what I did, getting off too early or getting on it late or getting on it when it seemed like everyone else was, I didn't have the grip. And everyone else was just going deeper, and it made no sense. And so I'm looking forward to working on that. We do run it twice, and that'll be good. So at least the second time by in the chase, if I am still competing there for that title, I'll have a better time and not lose so many points.
Here's the other thing to consider too, is that sometimes Phoenix has always been a problem spot for the 38 team. Also, we just never have really performed well there, getting out of there alive. But that close to the end of the season and in the chase, what we always try to do is maximize some points at another track to carry into Phoenix and just hope to get out of there alive with a shot at the last race. So, you look at a track like Talladega, that is, most people go into that race with a different mindset of just surviving. They don't really, there's opportunities headed to Phoenix to be able to maybe do something that'll help you at Phoenix at another place, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I went into Phoenix in second place. That's how bad I ran at Phoenix.
Yes. And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes you do all you can do, and Phoenix is what it is. I don't really care for that track, but it's on the schedule. It is what it is, and it does make it interesting because, like I said, here's the champ. I love that track. Here's me in ninth place. I hate that track. So, it does come into play, but you gotta perform in every race, and you've seen that a couple of more points, a couple of more wins through the season, you've got 23 chances at a win to take those extra few bonus points. So there's some of those tracks back during the season that you could have had 3 more extra points, and that's what a win pays extra, Larry.
Yes.
So there you go. Or even in the chase, you get one more win in there, and it's a totally, the sports writers are going to be writing another name in that championship line. So there you go.
I absolutely threw away a few wins early in the season. I learned a lot running this series this season throughout the week after week, and I hopefully will get a few more wins than I did this season in all the leagues, at least Wednesday and Thursday.
See, that's the other thing too. See, you have a hard time at Phoenix, so throughout the year, you can rack up a win and carry an extra bonus point. You see what I'm saying? Every bonus point's a spot on the track, so that helps you out in Phoenix too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was going to mention were those bonus points. Those regular season victories do bring you a bonus point in the bonus points before we end up getting to the chase. You guys all remember we were showing those bonus points every week before the chase started, and a victory in a regular series race will bring you a chase bonus point. That's how we do our chase points. Every season, the drivers that make enough races get a bonus point for every race in the season. If you don't make enough races, you get a bonus point for every race you attended. Plus, you get a bonus point for every victory that you had through the regular season. So if you can pull off 2, 3 victories, even more in the regular season, that's 2, 3 more points you're going to have heading into the chase, and those do make a difference when it comes down to the end of this series.
yeah. I messed up a few wins on either pit stop strategy, trying to go in early, and then a caution comes out, or just two tires at the end of a race when there was too many laps left, thinking the track position was enough. I learned a lot, like I said. So I'm looking forward to getting some redemption at some of my favorite tracks that I know I can score a victory now that I have the tools needed to do it.
Well, I've
You
got. Go ahead, Pockets.
you know, another thing to point out here too is you look at these list of drivers, and this list in the order is that's indicative of a lot of dedication towards this sport, as we consider it to be. That these guys have run. You know, you've seen their names in all three series. That's a huge amount of time and dedication put towards these finishing positions and this racing, and it's something that needs to be to we I want to personally thank these guys for showing the dedication and creating the level of competition that we have here. Texan, your name's at the top of that list, so thank you personally and everyone else. It was this season has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, it has been an outstanding season. Great driving, great racing all season long. And as we've said, many times in the past, some of the greatest guys to race with, sportsmanship wise. I mean, you can't get any better than the quality of people that we have racing here at BSR. And one quality BSR driver I'd like to mention, BSR Scar from WLS Graphics, provides all of the renders that you see here on the spotter stand, all these victory renders and special renders. And he has done a special one up here for me as the trifecta champion. I'd like to share with all of you guys. It's a render right there of the number 201 Drunken Cow Jerky original flavor truck, cup, and Xfinity car. First time in history, probably the last time. I don't know if I don't think I'll be able to repeat this. I don't know if anybody will ever be able to repeat a championship in all three of these series in the same season. That's an awesome looking render. My hats off and thanks a lot to BSR Scar for doing that. BSR Texan Team Original Championship Sweep. I'm proud of that, and I just can't say how proud of that I am. I can't believe that I actually was able to pull that off. I've won a single series before, one season, I believe 2016. I won the cup and the truck, so I was able to pull off two in a season once before, but three never been done. And I personally hope it never gets done again. I'd like to hold that record all the way to the end.
Well, that is an impressive. I've never seen it happen before, but we watched it all year long, and it did happen. And you swept it. And I will tell you this: Gar does a great job. I'm sure he would much rather make a render like this as he would to make three separate ones. I know he would. So he, he you kind of did him a favor by doing the sweeps because he gets to make one really nice render as opposed to three renders of two other people. So there you go. But yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Well, let's move on to the late night series on Friday night. It is the Boyles Trucking Dirt Series on Friday night. Now, we've just started a couple of short seasons, 4 races. Any driver who has raced in the dirt previously in the season or who makes any one of these 4 races on Friday or Saturday night going to be eligible for the Dirt Series Championship, which will be coming to us here in a little over a month. It'll be just after Christmas, I believe. Isn't that right?
That's right. The week after Christmas, to be exact.
Yeah. We ran, what track was it? Terre Haute on Friday night?
Yes,
Yeah.
Terre Haute.
Friday night, Terre Haute, and it was BSR Ricky J. And that number 193, Boyles Trucking Ford Fusion, bringing home two victories again in a week. Ricky J, great driver, awesome in the dirt, and another great victory here for the 193 Bulls trucking machine.
Yes, congrats to Ricky J. Brain Fade got second, Hot Rod third, Brian Wills fourth, and Eli rounds out the top five.
Great racing at Terre Haute in the dirt. Voiles trucking on board. Ricky J with the win. I tell you, Friday and Saturday late nights, this is Voiles Trucking is the place to be as we simulate dirt track racing, late model style from around the country at all the different tracks. We got things going on. This is going to be just like this dirt is turning into the real deal with the foot doctor here. We've been working hard on this dirt to try to establish it as something that like I said simulates a real late model touring championship series race. We're very serious and very committed to this dirt. We believe in it. We think it produces outstanding racing. I mean, it's just it's and as far as simulation goes, we feel pretty good about that too. We think we're doing as good as anybody can at simulating dirt track racing. There's a lot of people done a lot of work. Larry, the foot doctor, Hot Rod, been helping out every chance he gets, and the dirt is really something great. Thanks to Kathy and Brian over at Voiles Trucking, as well as Drunken Cow Jerky, for all their support. And this dirt's turning into a big deal.
Yeah, and Friday and Saturday for these four races, it's going to be the same track both nights. Is that right?
Yes, and it's two separate series for the 4 nights. But if you run on either night, you'll be eligible for the dirt track championship, the World Series of Dirt.
And that championship's going to be run, I believe it's 2 races at the Devil's Bowl. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Back home to Texas, down with our sponsor, Mark and Richard Heyman, down in Dallas, right there in Mesquite. So we'll be racing over there in Mesquite for the championship as a way to kind of take it back home to Texas down there with Drunken Cow Jerky. So it's going to be some exciting stuff.
Let's take a look at the points after one race here on Friday night. BSR Ricky J with the victory, up in the top spot. BSR Brain Fade, another great run there, holding down second, down by 1. Hot Rod in third, down by 2. BSR Brian Voiles in fourth, down by 3. And Eli 114, down by 4. Looks like, are there no bonus points here for?
No, the heat winner. What we're doing with the heats is everybody runs in the heat. The heat winner has to start in the back like we did before. But at the end of the 4 weeks, the person that has the best overall finish or most wins will get a bonus point going or 2 going into the championship race.
Okay, so the heat bonus points, instead of being added to the race itself, are added to, if you win the heat, you get a bonus point for the championship as well. Is that correct?
If you win the most heats.
Yes, the most.
Okay, so just the one
person will get 1 bonus point for the heats. That's
Gotcha. I'm with you now. So every heat winner doesn't get a bonus point toward the championship. Just the person who wins the most heats is going to get a bonus point toward the championship. What about the overall winner of the 4 races? Will they get a bonus point toward the championship as well?
Larry?
I thought we were doing bonus points for the top 3 pockets. Was that correct? Is that how we had that figured out?
I believe you're right, Larry. That is exactly how that works out. I've been spending some time down there with Larry in the points and scheduling area, and we're kind of tweaking on this a little bit. And since it was a shorter series, we wanted to add it. We wanted to do something a little different heading into the championship race, because this is the race where people who may not have run a race this year come in and race. We got the regular dirt guys. We got the guys that tour every week with the dirt series and stuff like that mixed in. And this little short segment here is basically these are qualifiers. These are qualifying races for the championship at the end of the year to determine the 2018 Voiles Truck and Dirt Series champions. And so we tweaked it a little bit here. I will go back and revisit our notes and make sure that we've got all that right, but I believe that is correct, Larry.
So are you going to be, since it's the top three, are they all just going to get one? Yeah, I'm just thinking you could have the same guy get that top spot in both series, and if you give them like 3, 2, 1, then just over a short 2-race championship, you could have somebody going in with a 7, 8, 10-point lead over everybody else if they happen to get the victory in both series, and if they happen to get the most uh, uh, bonus points or the bonus point for the heat races as well.
That's why it's only 1 point for the top three each. So there can't be a big runaway.
Right. So basically,
So the most
you got a
could
chance
go
with
in-
one
the
guy
most
could
you go into is like 2
3
points.
3 points.
Three. Well, you could. One person could actually have 4 going in if he won both the heat points from both series and won both championships. You could have 4 points would be his max.
Right. Yeah, I mean that. You got to give them some points for being up there in the front and for getting those, but you don't want them to
showing
be
up
able to
every
run
week
away.
and- right. Yeah.
Right.
That's right. We're gonna get that's the part that we've been tweaking about the dirt, because we want to close the dirt up a little bit, because we feel like we're one step away from having it almost perfect, because we always talk about points and what makes competition better. It's not just about the racing that you can use the tools that you have to make it more exciting. And we feel like that work is done down there in the scoring department with Larry and Brain and everybody that helps out in that deal. And we can adjust these points and we can tighten that up. And we want it to be as tight as it possibly can. We're going to give you points for your successes, but we're not going to give you too many. You can't rely on. We want it to go to the championship, so that's why we tweaked this a little bit, and it just shows that if this works out, then we know that's pretty much etched in the book that we can do that. Maybe tweak it a little more and make it even more exciting. We're always looking for ways to make it more exciting for everyone.
Oh, and the championship winners have to start in the back in the championship race. So the winner that gets the bonus points, Texan, when the season's over, the 2 winners from both series, that person has to start in the back, as well as heat winner from that night. And it's going to be pretty interesting. Championship race isn't going to be a cakewalk for nobody.
And we designed it that way, didn't we, Foot Doctor?
Yes, we surely did.
I noticed we've lost a couple of viewers out there. You guys are gonna, if you're still here, you want to stick around to the end, because we are going to be talking about the off season, what's going to be going on between December and February, when the new season is going to be starting up. So hang out to the end of this. That way you can get all the news on what's going to be going on here on the off season. Let's move on to Saturday night. The Saturday night team series. We wrapped up season number 36 with the final race, 10th race of the season. Last race of season 36. There's a look at your teams one more time. And bringing home the victory in the final race on Saturday night, it was BSR Chevy Chase in that number 096 teriyaki flavored machine, bringing home a victory for his team in the final race of season 36.
I'm waiting for the graphic to pop up. There it is. No, that's the second one. I'm waiting for the standings.
Yeah, the standings come up. Well, let's go ahead and take a look here. Was that the only victory for Teriyaki this season? Has Chevy?
Yes, absolutely was. They finished in last place, but they win the final race of the year, so that gives them great saving value to their season.
Yeah, it's surprising that that was their only victory. Chevy is
I,
great in the super speedways.
I
He's probably one of the best pitters out there. He always comes out with a great pit stop. He gets in the pits good, gets out of the pits good, and sometimes that hurts him. He gets such a good lead that the other cars draft up on him and go right by. But he's always able to stay with that lead draft for almost the whole race. I'm really surprised that was the only victory for this team.
I believe that's the only race Chevy finished all season. Also,
Well, and I'll tell you this.
he has had major bad luck all year.
That
And I'm pretty sure that that was the only race that he has finished.
that 096 is only going to go so long before he gets up on that wheel and puts that car in victory lane. I mean, he just, like we was talking about, his real world commitments have limited his schedule of racing. So now he's maximizing that time. And I know I've talked to him personally. We're great friends. He was making a point that I'm not finished here. So, big supporter of the Saturday Night Team Series, great teammate to have. Teriyaki had a rough year, but rough season 36, but that's just the way the Team Series goes. You have good ones and you have mediocre ones, and you just gotta. That's the beauty of the Team Series is that like you've heard before, the old saying, you win together, you lose together. That's that's part of the beauty of it. You've got your teammates to rely on and say, hey, we did what we could do, and it is what it is.
Well, let's take a look at the points, see how everybody dropped out here in season 36. It was the Ghost team managed to pull off the championship over the Carolina Reaper team in second, down by 4. The Hot team took third place, down by 20. Beer Bacon moved up a spot to take over fourth, down by 38. Original dropped a spot to fifth, down by 46. And Teriyaki rounding out the field, down by 62. That was a close race. Going into this, I believe it was only 2 points that separated Ghost and Carolina Reaper. Ghost had moved back into the lead after race number 9, and we had a 2-point lead over that Reaper team. And man, that was a close race. Reaper was hanging in there the whole race, and as you can see, they had a pretty good finish. Only dropped two more points to finish the season, down by 4. Very close at the end of this season. And Ghost, Team Ghost, my team, BSR SS Joba, myself, and Randy Clappin, bringing home the victory, season 36.
I'll tell you something too. If you look at these points, this may be the first time that we've seen it's just the way that the teams are drawn. We've seen we've seen two teams that really, really performed. I mean, look at those points. It's usually closer than this, is what I'm trying to say. Throughout all the teams, but those two teams battled. Those top two, they battled right down to the wire. 10 races, 3 drivers on each team, 6 drivers racing, 10 races. As much as I mean, this series had everything. It had the drama. It had the racing. It was just it. If you don't know about the team series, you just got to. It's everybody knows the deal with the team series, and this was another great one. Season 36 was outstanding, and congratulations to Team Ghost, SS, Randy, and Texan. November must be the best month ever for you. So this is the week before last was the best week ever. So
You got that little cherry on top, didn't you,
he
Texas?
sure did.
Yeah, all three championships, and then to bring home the championship with my team in the team series as well, topped it off. Yeah, November was a great month, and last week at Homestead, the whole week, it was a great week of racing. As exciting as it was, it was nerve wracking there for a little bit, but yeah, close finish here on Saturday night. Like Pocket said, it's usually closer between all the teams. There have been many seasons where it's only been 15 or 20 points between first and last place. And usually you've got 3, 4 teams there fighting for it at the very last race, but still very close all season long. Ghost and Reaper were swapping back and forth for that top position there. And I believe the Ghost team brought it out strong, and we had the lead for a couple races. And then the Reaper team came on, and they took over that top spot for a few races for most of this season. I don't think we took it back until that race number 9 and managed to finish it off strong. But 4 points between the top 2 teams. Looking forward to next season, season 37. We're going to repick teams. It'll be another random draw. All drivers will be matched up. We'll probably have three drivers per team once again, and looking forward to getting back out there with these new cars that Scar's painted up for us, the new great-looking team cars, and having another great season of racing.
Hopefully I get another car. That way I can get this collection all done. These new great cars that Scar's got us.
Yep, that can work out that way. It sure can.
I also want to throw out a big congratulations to a member of your team, Texan, Randy Claflin. Me, you, Pockets, we all know how dedicated Randy has been to the team series and how hard he has struggled. And last season, he was phenomenal in the last 3 weeks. Real glad to see Randy having some success out there on the racetrack.
Well, Randy's gotten some new equipment and got some things going on over there at his shop, and he's as dedicated as anybody I've ever seen, doing a great job. And I tell you what, Randy can tell anybody that cares to hear that he is part of Team Ghost, winner of season 36 in the Saturday Night Team Series Drunken Cow Jerky Battle of the 6 Flavors. People can say whatever they want to, but when you can pull that up, when you can put that on your resume, then you've done something.
That's right,
Randy.
You can
You
say
can't
something.
take that away, brother.
That's right. And, I've got another great render here from BSR Scar and WS Graphics to prove it. There it is, Team Ghost. The number 29 of Randy Claflin, the number 56 of BSR SS Joba, and the number 201 of BSR Texan. Saturday Night Team Series Season 36 champions. And yeah, Randy, great job. I think he was having some wheel issues early in the season, and he got his equipment figured out, and he definitely came on strong and doing a lot better. And he's going to be even better next season. I'm sure he's looking forward to next season just like the rest of us are, and he's going to have another great run and another shot at another championship next season.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, let's take a look at the Saturday night dirt racing. Saturday night, also the Voiles Trucking. I know this says Friday night, but maybe we'll get another one here, one for Friday.
I got one for you. I'll give
Do you?
Yeah.
It's going to be Voiles Trucking Dirt on Friday night and Saturday night, both nights. And like we said earlier, we are running the same track on Friday and Saturday. Each week it'll be a different track, but it'll be the same track on both nights. Terre Haute once again on Saturday night. And this week, Saturday night's victory was BSR Hot Rod, the Foot Doctor, and that Mustang Drunken Cow Jerky Teriyaki flavored machine that brought home the victory. Good job, Larry.
Yes, Eli got second. Brian Bulls got third. Mr. Magoo got fourth. And Monty Keller rounds out the top 5.
So 3 races left to go, Friday night and Saturday night, before we will be heading into Christmas. And then after that, into the Dirt Series Championship. What are the next 3 tracks? Where are we going to be going to next week on Friday and Saturday night?
1 second, Texan. I had switched pages. Fonda is next week. Well, actually, this coming Friday is Fonda. The following week is Canandaigua, and we wrap up at the Springfield Mile.
We're getting used to all of these tracks now. I think we've run at so many different dirt tracks that it's we're not going back to any new ones. I think everybody's raced all of these, and we're getting used to these tracks, and the racing's just getting better and better. Fonda, a good track. Canandaigua, another good track, and I know everybody had fun at that Springfield Mile. That's a big, long dirt track. We had some great racing there.
Yes, we're going to have some new tracks coming up, but for now, we're just kind of trying to get everybody acclimated with the tracks that we have. Going to throw in a couple new ones here and there, so that we don't want to bombard everybody with new tracks every time, because that just makes the racing difficult and not as competitive. You have guys that just run away that are used to the dirt and know the tracks, and so this way, if we keep the same kind of tracks around, we're keeping the racing tight, way more competitive, and yeah, so that's like I said, a couple new tracks coming up here and there, but nothing too major.
Let's take a look at the points here. Saturday night, BSR Hot Rod with the victory. Eli in second place, down by 1. BSR Brain Fade in third, down by 2. BSR Magoo in fourth, down by 3. Monty Keller in fifth, down by 4. And BSR Pockets rounding out the field, down by 5. A little bit of a low turnout Saturday, but I think, coming up on the holiday week, it was that past Saturday when this was run. Maybe a lot of guys getting ready to go out of town or already out of town for the Thanksgiving week. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, by the way. We failed to mention that earlier in the show, but hopefully everybody's had a good Thanksgiving week. And we're going to get back into some more racing here before the Christmas holiday. And then after Christmas, we're going to have some other racing coming up. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going to be going on here in the off season. I've got another render for you here. Scar may have another one of these this year, but I've got this one from last year. The BSR AK Racer Memorial Sim Racing Championship Series will be run in the off season again this year, just like we did last year. Pocket, you want to talk to us a little bit about this and tell us what's going to be going on with this series in the off season?
All right, this is our tribute. This is what we do every winter since the passing of our good friend AK Art Rogers, BSR AK. This is what we do in the winter. We race. We said last year when we started this, best way to pay tribute to AK was to race. He loved to race. He was all about racing. He was as a lot of people know, he was a real tire specialist for a truck series team. Bobby Hamilton. He worked for Bobby Hamilton, and we race in the winter, and this is how we do it: Friday and Saturday night. And we're going to do something a little different this year. I'll make some more announcements about this on Facebook about the format and everything like this. But last year it was both series combined for a championship at the end. Well, I got some news the other day that's going to change the format a little bit because WLS Graphics has come on board and wants to sponsor one of the nights. So I'm still kind of before I make the official announcement on Facebook, I'm still kind of in negotiation with how we're going to do the prizes and the series and everything like that. And I'll get with you about this later, Larry. So that's basically this is going to take us through the winter series. We'll take the holiday weeks off and just work our way back around to the start of the 2019 season. This is where we race in the off season on Thursday and Friday night. Cup on Thursday night, and new this season. Scar and I were talking, and I said, it kind of makes sense for us to run trucks on Friday night since AK was on a truck series team. So to pay kind of a homage to that, we're going to run trucks on Friday nights. So Cup on Thursday night, trucks on Friday night. We think that's a good split between the both.
Is our schedule staying the same pockets, or you're not
It's
sure
gonna
yet?
be. I'm gonna look. We're gonna look at the schedule and see if there might be something we want to another track that we want to put on there as opposed to last year, just to keep it kind of different from year to year. But we're gonna look and see what we've got there.
I've already
Okay.
picked my tracks. The Pockets does allow the champion from each series to pick a track for the AK Racer Memorial Series, and I picked my three. I picked. Do you want to tell them what my three were, Pockets? You
South
write them
Larry,
down.
Carolina Speedway.
Larry, what's his three?
his three is Charlotte, Pocono, and California. Am I correct?
You're correct. So those are three of the tracks that will be in the series. We will be racing Charlotte in the AK series, also California and Pocono. Those were three tracks that I think all produce great racing. Pocono may not be a lot of the guys' favorite tracks, but I like that track, and I think a lot of drivers like it as well. But Charlotte, always great racing at that track, and California as well. Nice, fast, big, wide track. A lot of great racing, and you guys all keep your eyes and ears posted because the full schedule will be posted shortly, and you'll be able to see which tracks we're going to be running in what order. And like I said, just keep your eyes and ears posted. It'll be up shortly.
I do know. I'm pretty sure that the last track will be Texas again. I almost bet money on that.
Well, we are going to be taking a short break with the spotter stand for the winter season. We do plan to be back at the finish of the AK Memorial Series. We're going to run a spotter stand in between the end of the AK Memorial Series and the start of the next season. That way we can get everybody up to date on everything that's gone on in the off season and what will be going on in the upcoming 2019 season of racing. So, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in with us all year long, watch the spotter stand, and we're going to take a short break over the winter. We'll be back to update you all with what happened in the off season and what's going to be coming up in next season's racing. Well, let's
Yes,
go.
all the information for everything we're doing in the winter will be on Facebook. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have a little award ceremony here in the next couple of weeks. We're getting a lot of prizes shipped out to everyone from Drunken Cow Jerky. I'll be working on that Tuesday. A lot of people getting jerky. A lot of people have gotten jerky over the year. Gonna have a little award ceremony down at the manufacturing facilities of Drunken Cow Jerky with our champion Texan and Mark Heyman and Richard Heyman. He's going to get the trophies. Trophies coming from Rick Craddock and Real Tech and the ring, and he Killa gets the whole thing piled on top of him down there in Texas. So be looking for those pictures and everything coming up too. We may have a little impromptu, little short YouTube uh, video about some of that stuff or something like that. So everything that we do, you'll be able to hear about. We'll post on Facebook first, so you'll know about it. And like Texan said, thanks for tuning in all year.
Absolutely. We may do one short episode, the spotter stand midwinter here, just to in the next couple of weeks, kind of bring everybody up to date. Because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff shipped out. We'll probably have a lot of pictures to share with you guys in the next couple of weeks with all the jerky that's being awarded to all the different drivers, all the trophies that are going to be going out. And I'm going to try to do something like Pocket said. I'm going to be driving down to the Drunken Cow Jerky Factory, where they actually make the jerky, and meeting with our sponsors, Mark and Richard Heyman, and picking up those trophies and that jerky in person instead of having them sent to me. So I'll at least get some pictures from that. Maybe I can get a little video. Maybe we can get a little short interview with those guys, and we'll have a short show sometime in the next few weeks just to bring all that stuff out and let all you guys see everything. Um, but let's go ahead and take some time here and thank all of the great sponsors, Mark and Richard Heyman over at Drunken Cow Jerky. Also, Brian and Kathy Boyles from Boyles Trucking done a lot for us this season. Rick Craddock, Realtech LLC, providing that cup trophy. BSR Scar at WLS Graphics and all the great renders. BSR RJ Rusty and the Medicine Chest Pharmacy. And BSR Tyler and Rhoda over at Hello Sunshine Hello. It's been a great season of racing. We couldn't have done everything that we have this year without all of these great sponsors and everybody pitching in and helping us out here at Bomb Squad Racing. I can't say it enough. The greatest group of guys out there that you could possibly have to race with. Everybody, great sportsmanship, great racing on the track, and you couldn't pick a better place to race than Bomb Squad Racing.
Absolutely. We appreciate everybody's support this year. Mark and Richard Heyman down in Dallas, Texas, all the racers, all the people behind the scenes that do all of this stuff to keep this going. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the Winter Series. You'll see all that being posted here soon. Prizes, people are getting jerky all over the United States. I got to work on that Tuesday, so y'all be looking for the pictures and everything, and we really appreciate everything everybody does, and we roll on into the Winter Series.
And all the other single race associates, Aussie Bill, Steve Looney, everybody else I'm forgetting.
Yeah, speaking of Aussie Bill and those boomerangs, I've had my boomerang hanging on the wall here for a little over a week, couple of weeks now. I still haven't taken a pic of that. I think we've got a couple other drivers out there. I haven't seen their pics either. Have you received yours yet, Pockets?
No, I have not. Scar's been at deer camp, and I'll probably get with him this week and get that taken care of.
So I think we will need to run maybe one more spotter stand here in a couple of weeks because we're going to have a lot of pics. We want to share these pics of boomerangs that were handed out by Aussie Bill and all the jerky that's going to be going out. There's going to be plaques going out. There's going to be trophies going out. So we'll see you guys here in the next couple of weeks, probably just before the Christmas holidays, to give you an update on what's been going on. And like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody who's come on and been a guest here with us on the spotter stand this season. And we will see you guys shortly. Hope you've all had a great Thanksgiving and hope everybody has a good Christmas. And we'll see you guys on the track next week.
Congratulations, Texan. Holla, everybody.
Congrats, Texan.
Amen.
Holla,
Congratulations, Texan.
Thank you, guys.
Holla.